the one and only Antoine Brown, host of The Main Point of View.
Preacher man. I'm sorry, go.
And I'm Hippie Soul, HIPPIESOLE.
And I am Miss Divine. Yes. Yay.
I'm Halil Diella, but we got distracted by his burp.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Halil.
It's okay.
Yeah, Halil. What we talking about today, fam?
We're talking about Antoine.
Change in progress.
Can you put your mic to your mouth? Bless God. No, sorry. No, what we talking about, sir?
Change in progress.
Change
What about it?
in progress or change and progress?
Change in progress.
In progress. Now, explain what change in progress means.
Well, one thing about change, if you want to define change is an action word. It's something that takes place within.
Oh,
It's an inner thing.
it's a
not-
verb.
not
It's
an
what you
outer.
do.
It's,
Oh,
right, it's what you
about
do.
shy.
And so,
What happens if you have an Audi?
if you have an Audi,
A change on the outside? Is that what you're
referring?
referring to? A change on the
Like
outside?
belly button.
Oh, I thought he was talking about
Oh.
you talking about oil change?
I was
What?
really going deep with it. I thought you were talking about a change on the outside, like you go from having Halil's hair to like Sinead O'Connor
Yeah, we go with
or
that,
Black
yeah.
Panther.
That's good.
You know,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. Female hair.
Mhm. Yes. I know I didn't break my Rolex.
Listen, I'm gonna need y'all to
So
stop
change
banging
on
the
the
table.
outside.
No, change on the inside.
Change on the inside and also what defines on the outside. But
No, but women go to the salon to get change on the outside so that they can feel good on the inside.
Thank you.
that's
Because
right.
when they look at themselves, they ugly.
Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute.
And you know
Wait,
why?
whoa.
Go ahead, break it down. Why?
And you know why?
Hold on.
Yeah, keep
Hold on.
going.
They
Go
not concerned
ahead.
about what's on the inside. They concerned
Concerned
about
about what's on the
outer
outside.
appearance.
That's
Right.
what. Now I don't know what kind of woman done broke your heart.
I'm trying to figure out who they talking about.
They must be
See?
talking
Celebrities.
about celebrities. People
I'm
that's
a
Well, I don't know
Celebrity.
celebrity. I'm sorry,
Got it.
celebrities.
Because
I
all
don't know
them
y'all.
celebrities be doing butt injections and
I'm a
forehead
celebrity, and I
injections.
care
There's some
about
girls
my
in Charlotte got them
I'm
the Bates
I'm a
Motel
celebrity
booty
of my
shots.
butt.
Oh, the Bates Motel.
Booty
one.
shots.
Really? This all like
Oh
decrepit
yeah,
and
now they
stuff.
got to get that surgery because they done
You
messed
seen
themselves
Tales of the
up.
Crypt? That's what the booty
Nasty.
look like.
They don't even look good.
Yeah, it's all
Now it's
bad.
all flabby now.
I've heard of women getting the butt injections or the implants and they pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just like this corrosion.
And they got to
that
get it
takes
surgically
place.
removed.
They have it on Google.
They can cause cancer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do
Right.
not sit on a splinter.
You know what can get you that same booty? Squats.
Oh yeah.
You know what
yeah,
can get
yeah.
you squats? Discipline.
Yeah.
Like you just need to do it.
But people don't do that because they want it here, they want it fast, they want it now.
And they also want to run the risk of getting some type of infection, health issues, or
but
disease.
that's exactly what
even
we do
death.
when we pop pills.
What do you mean pop pills?
We have an issue. We go to the doctor. Doctor gives a prescription.
When you go to an MD.
Right.
I don't
Just eat some charcoal.
But there's
prescription
an old school trick to
then
that,
goes
too, though.
ahead, gives you a little pop a pill, and it
Yeah.
masks the symptoms.
That's right.
The underlying cause is still there. The
No,
root cause is
y'all,
still there.
That's right.
The
But
pills give you the
just-
symptoms.
Right.
some
pills
other
give you the
symptoms.
symptoms.
Yeah.
That'd be worse than the disease.
Uh-huh.
How?
Because you going for a headache, you pop a pill, and you walk out with
I
cancer.
got something to say because I want everybody to hear this because there are a lot of people on the mic today. Listen, they even tell you what could happen and what can happen
And we
with
still
side
take
effects,
it.
and people still
Yes.
take it. That the commercial says yes. Try Efferson the rare Micrio.
That's it.
May cause cancer, high
But
blood pressure.
No. First, it will help lower your stress levels and help you sleep at night. And efluminiobia, but it will cause whatever that is, but it will cause side effects. Be da 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 da, and then the last one is death.
Death.
Exactly.
That's the worst one.
Like,
Yeah.
wait.
Keep in mind.
Give me that one.
Hold
Now,
up,
keep in
one
mind.
at a time.
If you notice, even with that, look at everything overall. Look at the corporate world.
Okay.
You got medication has side effects to it. You got cigarettes that has side effects to it. But guess what?
I didn't even smoke cigarettes.
Yes, you
We don't make
did.
that change.
It's a black.
We still maintain it still yet. We smoke them. We take them. So what's wrong with that picture?
We're not changing within our minds. We're not changing our mind. We're not changing our
So now we have
mindset.
an epidemic, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of the things that we partake in, not we, people partake in, is planted by the government. Honestly.
Such as?
Everything.
Everything. Right.
America is a mental health ward. We all taking something. Believe
We
it or
are
not,
a
everybody is
test.
taking
We are
something.
guinea pigs.
Yeah.
We're guinea
If
pigs.
we breathe the air.
It may cause this. Let's see if it works.
The air, the water, all of those have pollutants in
It's
it.
funny, and people wonder where all these diseases come from. But what are the three things you put in your body every day? Food, air.
You
Water.
say good stuff. Let
And
them
what
hear.
you
it.
drink.
Here's what a good friend of mine taught me, and it's very, very simple. Very simple, and they've been doing it from back in BC. Control the food, control the people. And that's what Pharaoh did back in the day with the Hebrews. They took this, and I wish I could remember the name of the plant, but they took this plant. They took the nectar, the juice from this particular plant, and it caused the Hebrew people to hallucinate, forget about God, and worship Pharaoh.
Was the lotus flower or
snap.
something like that? It was something that they were
It
taking.
was something you had to look it up. If Google has everything, you do your
I
research.
just said that to them.
Yep, but do your research. But that
Everything
you
is on
control
there.
the food, you
Love
control
it.
the people.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing today. They're controlling food, and I know 2 of the 3 top things that causes disease. Because what is disease? What is the word? Dis-ease. Your body is at dis-ease. So 2 of the top things is mucus. Where do we find mucus?
Dairy.
In dairy. And then the other thing is acid. Where do we find acid?
Fruit.
Food.
In food. Exactly. Because if you go to a health food store, you read the back of what is it? Cactus water. It has like absorbic acid. That's not a natural
Like, why are
thing
you
of the earth.
putting that in there? Why do I need that?
That's the right
To give
question
you
to
the
ask.
disease.
But
so
if
that you can go to the MD so you can get the prescription so you can make the pharmaceuticals rich.
so the country can stay rich. But here's the thing: we don't read. We don't read the back of all these canned foods and this and that and the chips that we eat.
But
and all of that.
even if we do read, we still don't care.
Right.
was your point.
Right. But see, now listen what you just said. Let's meditate on. You said the word disease, right?
Dis-ease.
You broke it down.
Disease.
Disease, right? Now, in order for that to be at a place like that and in a predicament like that, which is an epidemic, we have to put ourselves there. Because if you keep in mind, remember in the Bible, there are 3 tactics that always remain the same, that never changes. The characteristic change, people change, he just changed faces, but the characteristics of the tactics, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life never changes from this format. It always remains the same. So it's the influence that puts us at a place like that to be at a discomfort situation. Because that's when you talk about disease, that puts you in an uncomfortable situation where we have to take responsibility as a race of people, accountability for our actions. Now, what the enemy does, he give us the influence. Now, just like with Adam and Eve, okay, back in the Garden of Eden. Now, the tree that they knew not to eat from, okay, remember, it was said that the tree, it was in the midst. So what that tell you, if it was in the midst,
There were other things around.
it was other things around it, but if in the midst means that it was in the middle, among all the trees. They knew what God had said, but it was that seed of doubt. And then looking at the tree as being so luxurious, that influenced them, along with the seed of doubt.
So it's
to eat from the tree.
influence.
Influence.
So, and that's and when you touched on influence, I heard something. What are we mostly influenced by today?
Friends.
Media.
Media.
I mean, that's period, though.
But-
It's just media.
Right.
Like, oh, we got to look this way because they look this way on Love and Hip Hop and on BET and on ETV. So if I don't look like that, I'm doing it wrong. And it's unfortunate.
Media from magazines to television, radio. Exactly. So the influences that we have, like our culture altogether, like in the U.S., is all set up for downfall.
Yeah.
Or control. Let me use that word. Control, not necessarily downfall. Population control.
At the end of the day, we want what we want when we want it. We don't
correct.
have self-discipline. We do not have self-control
Or patience.
or patience. And although the writing is on the wall and they say you gonna die if you, guess what? We still do it anyway.
But then again, it's like saying all that. Y'all said influence, but what stuck out more to me was the doubt part. A lot of us doubt, oh, well, I could go vegan or, eat more vegetables, but then I'm be missing out. What are you going to miss out on? Feeling good? I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
You're missing out on the hog maws.
But
and the
here, when you
chitlins.
say
I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
But when you say feeling good,
missing
what
out.
you said, feeling good, feeling is tied to your senses.
Mm-hmm.
So what tastes good to us, what
Looks
good
good.
to us, what
Feel
feels
good.
good to us, and that's where we have to die to flesh.
That's it.
I'm going to pray for you right now in the name of Jesus. A lot of us have not died to flesh. A lot of us don't want to die to flesh because we want to live our best life right now, but our life is not our own.
And you know what they say? Well, we all got to die one day. That's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. We all got to die one day. Well, I don't want to leave too soon.
Right.
Okay?
But you got to keep in mind there are two types of wills out here. It's what we talking about is talking about the will of the flesh. The flesh always craves. It never is satisfied.
Correct.
It always want what it want when it
Always.
want.
Yeah, because we're human.
And
But you have to learn how to put it under subjection.
Yes.
right, and just like what Doctor was saying earlier, self-control,
Yes.
discipline. We have to have discipline. So a lot of times too, what causes us to have an epidemic too, is what we feed. Not only that, we feed our minds, but what we're allowed to impartate also on a spiritual level into our spirit. So it's two types of way that we can feed this body. We can feed it physically from a natural standpoint, or we can feed it from a spiritual standpoint.
There you go. And a lot of us
we are
don't.
what we eat.
And right, and a lot of us don't take the time to feed ourselves spiritually.
Correct.
Which means we're in front of the influence, we're in front of the TV, we're watching these shows, we're doing other things that has nothing to do with the spirit, nothing to do with God. We're not spending that intimate time with Him. Therefore, we're not feeding the spirit. We're not growing our relationship with Him. We're not growing in Him. We're not dying the flesh. So, what else is there? We sleep. Just take an inventory of what you do. That's what we should do. Take an inventory of how many hours or how much time we're spending doing this: sleeping, eating, being influenced, working, and spending time with God.
But at this point, we're two people. We're spirit and flesh. So you can't feed one and not the other. Both of them need to be fed.
Right.
But people
That
don't know
balance.
that balance.
That's right.
You can feed one without the other, but that just causes
the
you to
other
be
would die. Malnutrition.
Malnutrition.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And then something ends up dying in the process.
And then when we do
Both,
feed our flesh,
unfortunately.
or feed our temple, feed what God has made us be a steward over, we don't study to show ourselves approved, and we don't seek out truth as to what we should be putting in our temple, because of going back to the whole acidic thing. Everything that we eat is acidic. God made our bodies to be alkaline. So when you're putting things like Kool-Aid, anything what is it, high fructose
That high
syrup
fructose,
and all that. So you
Yellow
said, no,
dye
I'm
number
just gonna
5.
right yellow number 15 and
Yellow
all
who?
that. Right. And here's the thing, like you said, we have to know, not only know, but we have to be obedient to what it is that the instructions God has already given us. And where do we get our instructions from? The
Bible.
Thank you.
The Bible.
And we don't read. And if we're not reading the word, we're not feeding our spirit, and we're not feeding our spirit, what are we doing? If we're not doing a positive, we're doing a
Negative.
There you go.
Question.
Yes.
Why is it that
Why is what?
we know
What to do, but we don't do?
exactly?
Because we like sin.
Yeah.
And we like wallowing in it.
Comfortability.
Going back to what he said, it feels
Good.
Familiarity.
That's right. Familiar spirits.
habit. How about that?
That's a disease by itself.
And
It
not
is.
only that
That's right.
too, when you look at doing what is right, being all that you can be, even just like say working out, getting your body fit.
But it's hard to do what's right.
Hard to do what's right.
Nobody ever taught anybody how to lie, how to cheat, or how to steal.
Season.
And
But
then,
guess what? It all came natural.
But
We've
right,
all been born in sin
right
and
is kind of
shaped in
subjective
iniquity.
because everybody's
nature.
definition of
Yeah.
right isn't necessarily right. What might be right to you might not be necessarily right to me in my situation.
It depends upon if it crosses the line and you do something and you get locked up. Because you may think stealing from somebody is right because you hungry, so you're going to break in my house and take food out my refrigerator.
No, I'm
To
gonna go
me,
Food
that's
Line.
wrong.
I'm gonna go to Food Line. I'm gonna steal from you for.
Because they got
Actually-
cameras at Food Lion.
Here's-
At my house, they may not.
Here's my
So-
solution
They
to that.
do.
Here's I got something to say. Here's my solution to your example. Ask and you shall receive. So
That's true.
you don't have to steal. You're gonna come across someone, or God is gonna send someone across your path that's gonna bless you. You don't have to steal.
We
Now,
have
if
not
it-
because we ask
and
not.
if we love God, we will keep His
Commands.
commandments.
Which are
So-
his commands.
And one of
Right.
them is not
Shall not steal.
I only listen to one of those
Everything
commandments,
goes back to the word.
and that commandment
Right.
is to love. If you love somebody, certain things you just won't do to them. If I love you, I'm not going to steal from you. If I love you, I'm not going to.
Let's break that down. Hold on, I got something else to say.
Certain things you just don't do to people when you love
Go
them.
ahead. Say what you gotta
But
say.
there are different types of love.
Wait.
Oh, you going- nah, that's another show.
I got something to say.
There's eros and
No,
agape.
there
and
is,
phileo,
bless God.
and- so there are different
But here's
types
the
of love.
thing. When you're looking at the word love, and this is how I look at the word love. The Bible says God is
Love.
love. So when someone tells me they love me, what I'm taking it as is you God me, which means if you were God, you would do what He would do for me if you were Him. So people got to be careful of throwing that word around. I love you. I love you. I love you. People throw that word around to get what they want. People throw that word around to manipulate. But when you tell me I love you, that's how I'm taking it. Because
but that is your interpretation of love,
That is-
which is not necessarily the
Exactly.
person's interpretation of why they're saying
which
it.
is why when someone tells me that, I break it down to them because I've had someone ask me before, well, you haven't told me you love me. Why don't you love me? I said, because I ain't got to the point where if I was God, I would do what He would do for you if I was Him. Because
Which is
the word
agape
said-
love.
And the word said God is love, right? And like you said, let me ask you, where in the Bible? And I'm not saying it's not in there, but where in the Bible, because I do have a question, does it break down there's different types of love? I know in the Bible where it says God is love, but where in the Bible does it say there's different types of love? Because I hear pastors and preachers talking about it all the
You
time.
remember you said earlier, you said study. Now that's your answer when you said study. When you study, you search the Bible. You search these scriptures out. When you say amen in church, that's saying that you're saying surely, that means that
You agree.
You're in agreement.
It is so.
Thank you. It is so. That means that's even to the point it's like you saying that I don't have to research what you're telling me. I'm in agreement with what you're saying. I believe what you're saying, but I can know that I'm telling you a lie. But if you ain't searching those scriptures, you'll take that and run with it.
Which is why I'm asking the question: does the
But
Bible
from
does the
from
Bible
a-
break down the different types of love?
No, it's
Based-
only one kind of
no,
love.
no. Based upon the interaction a person has with one another. The love that I have for my mother is going to be different than the love that I have for my daughter, which is going to be different than the love I have for a wife, which is going to be different than the love I have for a pet.
But that's relationships, though. That
Right.
like love is the same all around. I don't care what anybody says. Love is love, but my love for him is gonna be different because that's my friend. He's a friend.
But God's love is unconditional love,
Right.
which means I give my life for you.
That's right.
I may love somebody, but I may not give my life for them, but I still love them. I just don't love them unconditionally.
I don't know. I can't agree to that. I love anybody unconditionally. Why? Because I want that to be done for me. You know what I'm
So
saying?
then you would lay down your life for anybody and everybody that you
Absolutely.
love.
Why not?
And here's,
Okay.
here's,
And that's you.
here's
That's
the
just
thing.
not me.
Well, as I'm thinking more
I'm not
about,
dying for y'all.
as,
No offense.
as
Love ya, but
I
I loves me more.
as I'm thinking more about as I'm thinking more about the conversation about love and going back to the different types of love, I still agree with you with love is love. But when you say, for example, I love my mother, the way I love my mother is a different way than I love my husband. No, I would lay down my life for my mother. I would lay down my life for my husband if I had one. But love is love. Now, when you talk about the love you have for a friend, you see what I'm saying? Like a love you have for a friend. Like I have female friends that I care about, you know, and there's a couple of them. Yes, I love them because I would lay down my life for them. I have that unconditional love for them. They could hurt me. They could cuss me out. I'm still going to love them.
Right.
So there are certain people in my life that I actually love that I would, yes, lay down my life for. But when you start talking about what's the romantic love,
Eros.
the eros, I can't. If your connection or how you feel about someone is the eros feeling, I don't. But you wouldn't lay down your life for that person that you have that eros feeling about. I can't connect love with the word eros. Because if it's not in the word, it is not love. It's not necessarily. Well, it's got some lust to it, but you can't tie love and lust together. Let's take it that way.
Yeah.
So eros is a feeling that you have for a person, not the love of God that you lay down your life. You just feel something with your senses towards that person. So I can't categorize that with love because that's not love. That's a feeling. So I have a deep feeling for you. I have that eros type of feeling. I, desire you. I want to take care of you, but I don't.
For that. It's
something
that's produced through your hormones.
But that's not
and it's
love. And the word
for
also
love.
goes further to break down what love is and what love isn't.
That's speaking from a spiritual perspective,
Right.
but unfortunately,
Not
we
everyone
live
is.
in this world, although we're not of this world, and not everybody in this world thinks of love from a spiritual perspective. Eros love is a Greek form of love, which is a real form of love. It is not biblical love, it is not God love, it is not spiritual love, but it is still love.
Which
At the
Bible
end of
would
the
call
day,
lust.
no matter
Right.
how people think or whether they're spiritual or not, God is love. So people can think whatever they want, but the word
I got
is
a
the
question.
word and it's never going to change.
I got a question.
That's
Okay.
for those
Not
who
everyone
believe in
knows
the
how to
word.
love.
Exactly.
And not everybody believes
And
the
not
word.
everybody
and
knows
not everybody
what it
believes
is.
the Bible.
They just attach
Exactly.
a feeling.
Exactly.
They attach the
Right.
word love to a feeling and call it love.
I mean, we
And
attach
that's where
feelings
we've
to
been
the wrong
brainwashed.
things.
He just
Either
said-
way.
He just said a key question. Everybody don't believe.
That's right.
Everybody don't accept God.
And if you're not
Right.
saved, sanctified, and filled with the
Right.
Holy Ghost, then
So
who cares about
we
what
have
the
to be
Bible
taught.
says, and who cares about what God
Right.
says, and who cares about what the Scriptures say?
Right.
So you
When
have
you
to
know
meet
you feel
people
something so
where they
strongly to
are,
someone.
Yeah, come with
and
God.
you can't Bible thump them
Right.
and force
No,
them
no.
into believing
Right.
what it is that you
that's
believe.
not what
So you
we're-
have to meet them where they are,
Right.
talk
Getting
to
his
them on
emotions.
their
It's
level,
okay.
But
and then
but what does
usher
that have to do
them
with
into
Right.
me not doing to you what I wouldn't want you to do to me?
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
that-
I'm gonna treat you how I want to be treated.
That's the golden rule.
You gotta
Do
be-
That
unto
is the golden
others
rule.
You gotta
as
be
you would
wise
have them
with
do
it.
unto you.
right.
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 Is that not love?
That's just common
That's just
respect.
common respect, right.
That's common
See,
decency.
when you come into the knowledge of the truth of who God is, and if you allow God to teach you how to love and get His love, then you'll know how to love. Because see, God is a relational God, and when you get that relationship with God and get in that book, and not only that, but get up under a Bible teaching based church, where it's being where it's being taught and where it's being preached. Because we know about Sunday school and Bible study, that's the education part of the church. So when we getting taught the right word, the proper word, that sound doctrine word, then we know those different categories when it comes down to dealing with love. And the one key factor in love is action. Love is
is
an
an
action
action word.
It's an action word. So there's nothing wrong with the different types of love when it's being expressed.
Here's my question to you, and we're going to take love out of it for a second. Let's just say, my question is, just because someone doesn't understand what something truly is or doesn't know the truth about the nature or the understanding of it, does it mean that is not so? So everybody may not be saved or in the word or know what love truly is, but those who have been woke, if you want to say it like that, or have studied to show themselves approved and they know what love really is, just because other people, there's other population of people who haven't, or don't accept it or don't believe it, does that still mean that love isn't love?
No, see,
the word says.
if you remember what Doctor was saying, he shared some key nuggets that were so vital when it comes down to dealing with Christianity. One of the things that he was saying was that you got to come to where a person is at in their life. When you come to where a person is at in their life, they don't have to necessarily be on your level. Because you got to remember, we're supposed to be winning souls. We're supposed to be wise fishermen.
Evangelists.
That's
Right.
right.
So he's there when souls must be wise.
Right. And
He
I
didn't
agree
say
with
look
that.
dignified.
Right, and I agree.
He said be wise.
Wise as serpents, harmless as a dove.
Exactly.
Right. And I agree with that. And I'm totally in agreement with that. And I'm not saying that these people are, not these people, that people who, I'm just saying, because that's something totally different. Yes, I do meet people where they're at. And I do love people from where they're at, or try to help people from where they're at. But that, what I'm trying to say is, regardless of where they're at, love is what the word says it is. So I'm not going to point my finger and say, no, you wrong. You don't love me. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to listen, and then slowly help them understand or help lead them to the truth of what is. Hopefully they will catch on.
That's the answer. You just said
Right,
it.
but-
You're going to lead them to the truth.
Right,
That's what you
but
do.
the thing is, I never said that I wouldn't meet people where they're at, because I practice that in everyday life.
Right.
So maybe something got misconstrued or misunderstood when I was trying to explain. Regardless of who sees it or who understands it or not, love is always going to be what it is, regardless of where you're at in life, regardless of what you believe or not believe. The word says what love is, and it breaks it down and explains what it is. I'm not going to go attack anybody because they don't know the truth, because there's a lot of things I don't know. And I would want somebody to meet me where I'm at, because for
Ignorance
a
is
long time
bliss.
I didn't understand health, wealth, and all that other, and finances and all that. At some point in time, somebody
But
had
see,
to come
the
along
Bible even
and help me where I'm at.
Yeah.
To help me where I'm at, to educate me. And as I studied and as I learned more and as I listened to the positive influences, that's when my mindset changed. Yes, Halil.
But we as men and women of God, we as men and women of God aren't to hold people to the, oh, well, you don't know what love is, or to come to them in that way, because, I mean, the Bible talks about ignorance. The Bible talks about, we can't blame people for their ignorance. All we can do is enlighten them, and we got to watch our approach to people, because not everyone is receptive of every avenue every approach,
and humbleness and with grace.
like even if you do have the wisdom, some people may not be able to receive it all laid on them at once. Sometimes you just got to show people the real meaning of love, or what love
Live
really
it.
is. Yeah.
Being influenced, like you said. Can we take a break? Because I think we about over our time. We need to.
You're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media,
The voice
of
of
the
the
community.
community.
We'll be right back.
Very interested on the subject matter. Y'all went in on that.
This one let us. We gotta do another one. How long was